Today we're doing lesson 2 of our Word program with the back and balance business proposal. And the first thing we're going to learn how to do is how to change our margins. So in the page layout tab at the top left, you're going to go over to the far left where it says margins and click on the down arrow. You'll see that your margins right now are in the normal view. You can tell because it's highlighted in gray right there. And we have a top margin of 1 inch, a left margin of 1 inch, and we also have our up above it is the last margins that I use, just in case you want to use them again. In this case, I've already done these margin changes, so it's there, but I'm going to show you how to make those changes now. If you come down to custom, you can select any of these ones that are already preset if they're ones that you like, but we're going to go to custom margins. And right here on the top margin, we're going to change that to 0.25. On the left margin, we're going to change that as well to 0.25 so that we have a 1/4 of an inch margin. Down here in the preview, you can see how it changed the preview. We click OK. And now you can see that we have a 1/4 of an inch margin to the left, on the left margin. And the 2 kind of represents the top of the page here. We have a 1/4 of an inch from the top of the page. And so that's how we can change our margins. Now this is ugly. We don't want to keep this, of course, so we're going to click the undo button at the top left corner. Okay, next, go down to page 4. And we're going to want to maybe insert some columns. So under the competition section, you're going to highlight everything from Mid-Florida down through other clinic. And in the layout tab that we were just in, we are going to go to the column section and click the down arrow, and then we will click 2 columns. And now as you can see, we have 2 columns for our competition. Okay, again, we don't really want to do that. Maybe it's not how we like it. We thought it might be a good idea, but instead we're going to click the undo button and keep it how it was. Okay. Now, it's important sometimes to insert page breaks or section breaks. Now, a page break takes things onto its own page. It makes it easier for reading the document or whatever it might be. We're going to scroll down to the financial data section right here. We're going to click right in front of it, and we want this to have its own page. The financial data should start on its own page. So if on your computer you hold down Control and hit Enter, this automatically inserts a page break for you. Now we can know there's a page break here if we go to the Home tab, which you need to do, and you're going to click on this little musical note near the center just before the styles area, and that is called the Show Hide button. And it shows these things right here, the musical notes represent the paragraphs, the beginning of paragraphs. And you can see here that our page break is now inserted right there. Okay. Now, a section break's a little bit different. A section break is a break within its own page, meaning you can have your own margins and page settings within that section that is different from the rest of the page. We're going to insert that up here on the first page. What you're going to do is you're going to click just to the bottom right of the picture, and you'll notice that it actually takes the cursor up here to the left of the paragraph key. We will go into our Insert tab, and right here on the left side it says Page Break. Click on that, and now we have a page break. Now there's a couple things about this that we don't like. First off, it inserted a new paragraph down here above Executive Summary, which creates too much of a gap for us. So we're going to delete that paragraph. And then, so that we can see that this really created a section break, we're going to right click on our picture, we're going to cut it, and now you can see down below it that there is that page break. Now we want that picture back, so I'm going to click undo, and we now have our picture back. But that's a page break and a section break, and we're going to be able to do different things with that section break when we're ready for it. Okay? Alright. You should notice that this should still say page 2, hopefully, down here above the executive summary. And there should not be a page 1 here. If there is, you need to go back into what we did on the last lesson and select that, click that check mark under footer and header that says different first page. That way that it doesn't have that number 1 button. Okay, so next, maybe we want to insert figures with captions. So all of you should have gotten a document. It's in your assignment section on Blackboard, and you're going to click on the Excel copy of Back and Bounce, okay? And you're going to go into the competitor market share at the bottom so that you can get this pie chart. What we want to do is we want to insert this pie chart into our Word document. We're going to do that by right-clicking on it, and we're going to copy it. Then we're going to go back to our Word document, and we're going to go down to page 3, which we're at. Sorry, it's actually page 4 right now. We want it underneath our competition section. We're going to click at the end of Other Clinics and hit Enter. And then we're going to right click in here and paste it with the same formatting. Now this is a little bit bigger than what we want it to be, so we're going to click inside of it. At the bottom left, we're going to hold down the left mouse key and just drag it up to be a little bit smaller. I want it to still be able to read a little bit, but we want it a little bit smaller. Next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go to the Home tab at the top, and in the Paragraph section we're going to click on the Center button. Now we want to give this a caption, so if we go to the right borderline of our image here, we're going to right click it, and you'll see it says Insert Caption right here. We're going to insert the caption. Now it says figure 1 already. We like that. We want it to say figure 1, so we're gonna add a colon, and then we're gonna type in there regional. Just a second, I gotta find one out. Regional market share. So we're gonna type in there regional market share. Whoops, gotta get my. Okay, we'll click OK, and you'll see that it already centered it for me, regional market share, as a title down at the bottom for our figure. So figure 1, regional market share. Okay, if it didn't do that, you would click in front of it and you'd go up to that same tab in the Home section and you would click on the Center button and it would bring it to the center. Okay, if it didn't do that for you. Now, other tools that are useful for us here in Word, I'm going to turn off my Show Hide buttons for the moment. So click on that musical note on the Home tab. And what we're going to do is we're just going to play with how to use the thesaurus and the dictionary, okay? So going to the mission section on the second page, right, here's our mission section. You'll remember we turned it blue the other day because we did the second heading on it. We see the word optimal. We're going to highlight that word. Maybe we just feel like we're using that word too much. We just want a different word. Maybe it's too cliche, whatever it might be. So a thesaurus helps us to be able to choose new words. So in our review tab, there's the thesaurus button at the top left. We're going to click on that, and it pops up this little navigation screen, and it gives us a whole bunch of different options here that we could replace with the word optimal: best, ideal, optimum, top, finest or finesse, peak, or prime. We're going to choose the word peak. When we choose the word peak, oh, what happened to it? That was a mistake. Click on the down arrow, by the word peak, and then click insert. And now over here where it used to say optimal, that is where it now will replace with the word peak. Alright, so that's using the thesaurus. Now you might have noticed that in this business document there's the word pro forma. If you haven't taken a lot of business courses, you may not know what that means. So perhaps you want to be able to figure out what it means. Right here I see on my page 8 that there's the word pro forma, so I'm going to highlight it and I want to know what it means. So we're going to have to figure that out. In order to do that, we're going to go to the References tab. And now your computer might have it here in the Review tab over here under Proofing where the thesaurus was. If it has the word define, you want to select that because that's the best way to get to it. For my program, I have to go to the Reference tab, and right here it has Smart Lookup. I'm going to click on that, and over here it gives me the definitions for a pro forma. Wikipedia is not very reliable, although it could be used technically. Down here it has the definition. If I can't read the full definition because it has ... then I can click on it. It'll take me to the website or the Investopedia site, and here I can find out the meaning of it and what it means. Okay, so that's how that works. Going back to our document, we're going to close out both these navigation panes by clicking on the close X, and then we're done with that. Okay, so that's how we use the thesaurus in the dictionary. Last thing we want to be able to do is be able to check our word count. Now guys, word count is important for you, especially while you're in school, because maybe you want to you have a certain amount of words you have to have in order to meet the requirements of a written paper. You can view that down at the bottom left corner. It says, for me it says 1,730 words. It should probably say the same thing for you. If you click on that in the bottom left corner, it'll bring up the word count. Now this tells you how many pages you have. It tells you how many words. It tells you how many characters and paragraphs are used, how many lines. And so you can use this information. What I want you to do is I want you to scroll down to the very bottom of your document, and I want you to give me, type in their pages and how many pages, type in their words, how many words you have, and type in paragraphs and how many paragraphs you have. That way I know that you did this. Alright, you can close that. Another place where you can get this is in the review section over here where it says word count. Right next to your thesaurus, you can click on that and it'll pull up that same dialog box and you can see those same things. Alright, that concludes today's lesson. We'll get these done and then we'll have one more lesson. You'll be able to turn this in to me.